Welcome back to Rephotography. Today I've got an exciting new announcement. Plus also I want to introduce a new approach to using AI within the process for rephotography. So the new announcement. So this week I participated in the Photoshop Creativity Summit 2025 with many other esteemed Photoshop creators, artists. It was really a privilege to participate in this, and I got so many amazing responses. I really appreciated that. During this process, I was thinking about rephotography, and that rephotography in fact covers several different approaches for this image creation. But personally, I feel the merging of the images is a step above those other approaches. So I wanted to differentiate how we term this form of rephotography. And I came up with the term hyperlong exposure. Now, as photographers, I'm sure you're familiar with long exposure photography. It's where your sensor may be exposed to the light for several seconds, minutes, maybe even over an hour for a particular kind of result. In hyperlong exposure photography, the images that I'm creating, the time interval between the initial photographer starting the sequence for his photograph and the conclusion of me taking my photograph is measured in terms of decades, maybe even over a century. And so hyperlong exposure just seemed to be a natural term to use. So I've created the website hyperlongexposure.com. Here I intend to focus more on the form and the process for the image creation. But also I want to share details about some of the artists that are doing this style of image. So if you visit the website now, and I'll put the link below, you will find a few other artists already producing this kind of image. And indeed, if you're producing this kind of image already, if you're sharing them on Instagram, or if you do have your own website, please let me know and I'll be sure to add them to the website so that other people can view your images. So I mentioned that I found a new approach to using AI. And I'm sure as seasoned photographers and post-processing authorities that you're very familiar with how AI is becoming far more frequently used in the post-processing approach. This is not where I'm using AI. I'm using AI where I'm looking for potential opportunities when I'm visiting a new city. So for example, within a few weeks' time, I'm going to be visiting Bordeaux in France, a city that I'm not familiar with at all. And typically, I would spend hours going through various websites looking for pieces of architecture and old buildings that offered the potential for rephotography. Now, using AI, I can simply type in a request to look and identify for the old buildings that still exist. Let me show you how. Let's start by looking at ChatGPT, and I'm going to request list the 20 oldest buildings that still exist in Bordeaux. As I mentioned, this is something that previously I would have spent hours doing the research trying to find these 20 locations. And as you can see here, within a matter of seconds, I've got a list. Now, once this is finished, then I would select here, copy. I would paste this into a Word document. I've got another option I've been looking at, which is another AI tool, Claude AI, and we can do exactly the same thing here. List the 20 oldest buildings that still exist in Bordeaux. And again, within a matter of seconds, I've got 20 oldest buildings, which again, I'm going to copy paste into the Word document. This will then be the tool that will allow me to look at what images, what postcards I can find. The next step would be to create a map. And I did in fact attempt to use AI to look at the most efficient route, such as I could see all these 20 buildings. It created a route, but I have to say it was far from the most efficient. When I looked at this on Google Maps, it had me revisiting several locations repeatedly. So creating an efficient route is currently not an option that I see. But this will be an approach, these will be tools that I certainly will be using in the future. Another video complete, and I hope you found that beneficial. And if you are wondering what this hideous spot is, I was attacked by some flying beast during the course of the week, got some infection. Photography can be a dangerous business. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to joining you on a future video.